So before starting working with KVM virtualization, it's good to understand a little bit what is required on your server to make it a KVM virtualization host. This is not really information that you need for the exam, but it is good to understand anyway. For the exam focuses mostly on using KVM virtual machines. So let's see what is behind it. So the first requirement in order to use KVM virtualization is virtualization support on the CPU. You can find out if this is the case first by checking the BIOS, of course, and from a running Linux system you can use egrep on VMX or SVM in the /proc/CPU info file. If these features are listed in the proc CPU info file, then your CPU is capable of supporting virtualization support and your machine can offer KVM virtualization. So if your CPU can offer virtualization, the Linux kernel can load the KVM and the KVM Intel modules or the KVM AMD module if you are using an AMD CPU. On top of the Linux kernel there is libvirt-d. This daemon allows you to manage KVM virtualization. Well, basically libvirt-d doesn't only allow you to manage KVM virtualization, it can communicate with other kinds of virtualization as well, such as Linux containers and other virtualization techniques that we are not going to cover in this course. Now libvirt-d is a generic interface to virtualization that can be used by different management programs. The most easy to use management program is Virt Manager. We will see that in this lesson. It's a graphical user interface that allows you to manage virtual machines in an easy way. There's also Virs, which is the virtualization shell. It is a shell interface that allows you to manage virtual machines in a scripted way. Very easy, very convenient if you have many virtual machines that you want to manage in an automated way. And then there's Virt Install, for example, which is an installation interface. It's just a small program that you need to install virtual machines, which, by the way, you can also do using Virt Manager. The interesting thing about libvirt-d is that you can basically use anything you want. So in some environments it is custom to develop a custom-made program to manage virtual machines. Imagine a kiosk environment, for example. You could easily develop a program that allows you to start a virtual machine and to reboot a virtual machine and get access to the console and nothing else. And that is all provided by libvirt-d. So libvirt-d is a very essential part when working with KVM virtualization.